In this video, you will learn how authors use different text structures to organize their writing in books and articles. Before you start, you need to be familiar with our primary focus for the quarter, informational text. Informational text is any text that contains true or factual information. It is a type of nonfiction text. Informational text is used to inform the reader about something that has happened or that occurs in the world. It provides the reader with information on a specific topic. Now that you know what informational text is, we are going to look at the 5 different structures of informational text. This is how the author organizes or builds the text that you read. Description. This is when the author explains a topic, idea, person, place, or thing by listing characteristics, features, and examples. The focus of the text is on one thing or topic and is repeated throughout the text. Sequence. The author lists items or events in numerical or chronological order. The order of events, or how to do something, is described in the text. Compare and contrast. The author explains how 2 or more things are alike or different. Cause and effect. The author lists 1 or more causes or events and the results that occur. Problem and solution. The author states a problem and lists 1 or more possible solutions to the problems and may include the pros and cons for the solution. At times, you will find a text is using more than one text structure. To identify the text structure, think about what the author is trying to say overall. You can also look for some signal words to help you identify the text structure. These signal words are also known as transition words, which are words we use to organize our writing and connect ideas. Let's look at each text structure and the signal words that will help you identify how an author organized their writing. In the description text structure, the author explains an idea, person, place, or thing. There are common words that are used in this text structure that will help you identify it as a description text structure. These signal words are, for example, for instance, characteristics are, such as, looks like, consists of, for instance, again, most important, on such and such date, at such and such time. They may give you directions, at the same time, while, and meanwhile. Now, here's an example where the author describes influencers and what they do. Influencers are people who in social media have built a reputation for their knowledge and expertise on a specific topic. They make posts on their social media like Instagram or Twitter and have large followings of people who pay close attention to their views. Meanwhile, popular brands love social media influencers because they can create trends and encourage their followers to buy products they promote. For example, Kylie Jenner built her cosmetic company through social media and has a successful business thanks to her followers. So in this article, the author is describing a topic and a person and also uses those signal words or transition words like meanwhile and for example. Sequence. In the sequence text structure, the author lists items or events in numerical or chronological order. So there are more common words that are used in this text structure that will help you identify it as a sequence text structure. These signal words are following, finally, at last, in the end, after that, first, second, third, next, then, after, before, prior to, not long after, simultaneously, and additionally. You also want to pay attention to the author's use of dates and time periods. An example of a sequence written text structure is this one right here. Marketers used influential people to endorse their products as early as the 18th century. In 1765, a British potter was endorsed by Queen Charlotte, which convinced customers to purchase his pottery. Next, in the 1930s, fictional characters were used to drive sales of popular products such as Coca-Cola, using Santa Claus to endorse the popular drink. Then came celebrity endorsements by popular athletes and actors in the 80s and 90s. Following the rise of social media platforms, a new phenomenon led to a set of regular people accumulating large followings and becoming influential enough to attract brands to use them to sell their products. So in this example, you'll notice some of the transition or signal words used are next, then, and following. In the compare and contrast text structure, the author explains how two or more things are alike or different. Some signal words that you'll find in this text structure to help you identify it as compare and contrast are differs from, similar to, in contrast, alike, same as well as, however, both, either or, not only, but also, yet, although, best, fewest, tallest, or any other words that end with est at the end of them. An example of this text structure is, social media has quickly become oversaturated with influencers. It is difficult for audiences to keep up with all of the content from influencers they follow. Engagement with sponsored posts has fallen to 2.4% in 2019, in contrast to a 4% engagement rate in 2016. So in this example, social media influencers and their engagement with their audiences is being compared and contrasted with previous years. In the cause and effect text structure, the author lists one or more causes or events and the results that occur. There are common words that are used in this text structure that will help you identify it as a cause and effect text structure. These signal words are caused by, result, outcome, impact, so, reasons why, reasons for, if, then, as a result of, since, effects, therefore, because of, influenced by, leads or leads to, in order to, brought about by. So here's another example of some of these signal words being used in this passage, and an example of cause and effect in this passage. Because toys have become electronic devices, some children today are unable to entertain themselves. The electronic age has delivered children all sorts of gadgets and gizmos that are supposed to be realistic. As a result of all of these electronic toys, children are less likely to have their imagination and have a short attention span. So the author in this passage is explaining the cause for something that has happened, or an effect on something that's happened in society, and the cause for it. In the problem and solution text structure, the author states a problem and lists one or more possible solutions to the problem, and may include the pros and cons for the solutions. There are common words that are used in this text structure that will help you identify it as a problem and solution structure. These signal words are, one possible solution is, one challenge, this led to, so that, if, then, thus, the main difficulty, since, this led to, question, answer, because, problem is, dilemma is, puzzle is, solved, and therefore. So these are just some of the signal words that you may find when you are reading a text that has been structured or organized with problem and solution structure. Here's an example. Burnout is a condition that plagues people of all ages. This leads to exhaustion, detachment, and leads to a lack of productivity. However, burnout can be overcome. Possible solutions include meditation, a change of scenery, doing something meaningful or interesting, and keeping to-do lists minimal. Now remember, the signal words help you identify the structure, but you cannot depend on those signal words alone. It is important to remember that the signal words are a tool you can use to help you identify the text structure. But overall, you must think about what the author is trying to say. What is the author's purpose in writing the text? What information are they trying to impress upon you? So remember to think about what the author is trying to say and just use those signal words as a tool to help you identify what the organization text structure the author is using.